Alrighty, today's lesson is a continuation of what we did on Monday or Thursday for some of you. Writing equations of lines in slope-intercept form. Remember, when you write an equation in slope-intercept form, it is y equals mx plus b. So, you need a slope, which is m. You need a y-intercept, which is b. But if you don't have a y-intercept, you have to use point slope form, which we learned this week, which is y minus y1 is mx minus x1. So this note guide is to help you understand how we do this to write our equations. So, the first one says slope and a point. So here's your slope. We know m. This is not the y-intercept. It's not the y-intercept because there's no 0 in the ordered pair for x. So if it's not the y-intercept, you all must use point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So this y1, this m, and this x is going to be replaced with the information you have. So we will write y minus 5, because 5 is the y value from your ordered pair, equals negative 1/4 parentheses x minus a negative 8. Now remember, when you look at this, you want to clean it up if it needs to be polished. And over here on the right, where it says x minus a negative 8, you want to change that to plus. This is now in point slope form. But to get it into slope-intercept form, you have to start by distributing on the right side. So we're going to keep the left. Y minus 5 equals negative 1/4 x. Negative 1/4 times 8 is negative 2. We're going to add 5 to both sides. And we get our answer. Y equals negative 1/4 x plus 3. Second one, we have an example with intercepts. We need a slope. There is no slope currently. We have a y-intercept. We know that that is negative 6. So the only thing we need is our slope. So you have to remember that an x-intercept of 8 is really 8, 0. And a y-intercept of negative 6 is really 0, negative 6. And you have to use the formula. The formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Remember, you want to polish this up. Minus minus is plus. This becomes 6 over 8, which really simplifies to 3/4. So once you have your slope and you have your y-intercept, you write your equation. Y equals 3/4 x minus 6. Now these two examples were different because they gave you different pieces of information. So you always have to be asking yourself what you need and what you're given. Here are two examples of tables. Obviously, in both of these tables, you do not have a slope. So the first thing you're going to have to do for both of these tables is you're going to have to pick two ordered pairs and find the slope. It does not matter which two ordered pairs you pick. So I'm going to pick the positive ordered pairs, 3, 7, and 4, 10. So the slope formula, you're going to take y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. That would give us negative 3 over negative 1, which is 3 for our slope. Then you look at your table, and thankfully for us in this one, right here, this is your y-intercept. So we know that b is negative 2. That means once I have my slope, I I have my y-intercept. I can write my equation. Y equals 3x minus 2. So that example was different than the other two. When I look at the next table, I still don't have the slope. So you pick two ordered pairs. I like to pick positive ones. 9, 2, 12, 1. Do the slope formula. We should be really good at the slope formula. And if you're not, email me and I'll help you. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. That will give me 1 over negative 3. And I like to put the negatives in the top, so negative 1/3 is the slope. So then I go ask myself, do I have a y-intercept in my table? But there is no y-intercept in this table because there's not a 0 in the x spot. So if there's no y-intercept, you have to use point slope form. So you can pick whatever point you want. So I'll just pick 12, 1, and our slope was negative 1/3. Why did I pick 12, 1? Just because they were positive. It does not matter which point you pick. So it says y minus y1 is m times x minus x1. Remember, we are replacing, the y, the m, and the x from this slope and this point. So I will write y minus 1, that's what y is, negative 1/3, parentheses, x minus 12. Remember that we need to, distribute over here on the right. Y minus 1 equals negative 1/3 x. Negative times a negative is positive, and 1/3 of 12 is 4. You add 1 to both sides. So the answer to this one is negative 1/3 x plus 5. Yet again, one that is different than all the rest. They all are important. So when you're doing your assignment, refer back to these because they're all different. So, last two. On the left, we have a graph. I need a slope. I can find the slope by using the counting method, by picking 2 points. This is up 1. This is right 4. Up 1, right 4 is positive 1/4 for my slope. Next, I look for the point where the line crosses the y-axis, which is here. So I know what b is. 1, 2, 3. b is 3. So this equation would be y equals 1/4 x plus 3. Which leads us to our last one. The y-axis is here. Notice there is no point touching the y-axis, which means there's no y-intercept. So we're going to have to use point slope. But I can find the slope by doing the counting method. So the slope would be down 1, 2, 3, right 2, which is really negative 3/2. So, if there's no y-intercept, remember you have to use point slope form. That's why we learned it. Okay? So point slope is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. So I have my slope. It's negative 3/2. And you pick what ordered pair you want. So let's say I pick this ordered pair. That ordered pair is negative 3, comma, negative 9. Negative 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Correct. So, y minus negative 9 equals negative 3/2, parentheses, x minus negative 3. Now recall that needs polished up because two negatives turn into a positive. Two negatives turn into a positive. So first I'm going to distribute on the right, negative 3 over 2x plus. That becomes negative 9 over 2. Let me get rid of my plus because it's not going to be plus. It's going to be minus. 9 over 2 is really 4.5 because you have to write that one as a mixed number. You subtract 9 on both sides, and you get y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 13.5. And that should make sense because we can't see where negative 13.5 is. It's way down here. So, that's a recap of how we did this. So when you're working on your graded assignment, if you find a scenario that's similar to one of these 6, use these ones to help you. If I went too fast, play the video over or email me and I will help you with any questions you have.